What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be following up on my light side star card combination video from last week, this time covering the Darkside characters instead. For those who haven't heard, on the 28th of August we will be getting passive health on kill for all heroes other than Bossk, meaning that they'll no longer need the health on kill cards, and because of that each character is going to be getting a new star card to replace their health on kill cards. So in this video I'm pretty much going to go over some of the possible new star card combinations after the changes are made in just over a week from today. Now these are all just my own personal choices, so these are by no means the only cards to choose. It all comes down to playstyle and skill level and a bunch of different factors like that, but I thought I'd just make these videos in advance of the update so that at least there is a starting place for any of you guys who are a little bit unsure. The other thing to remember is that we haven't actually got our hands on the cards yet, and so this entire video is more of a guessing game than anything. I'm confident that I will use the cards that I'm going to mention, but without actually testing the combinations for myself, there's no way that I can actually tell if these cards will work out or not, so just keep that in mind as well. Again, these are only the Darkside characters in this video, so if you haven't seen the light side version, then I will leave a link on screen at the end of the video. There are upwards of 40 cards that I'm going to go through in this video, so we'll try and go through them all as quick as possible. If you want some more detailed breakdowns of each card, then I have covered most of them in detail in my hero guides, but for the sake of saving some time I will just go through them as fast as possible for today. So starting off with Boba Fett, his new card is going to be called Born to Fly, and the description reads, Boba Fett's ability cooldowns are faster while in the air, but his health regeneration starts 1.5 seconds later. Now this one could really go either way, and it all comes down to the actual stats of the card. If it drastically increases your ability's cooldowns, then it might be worth it, but if it's only a small change, then I'm not too sure if this card is going to be worth it, because Boba does have some of the lowest health in the game, and therefore a slower regen definitely isn't ideal. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are his Intense Barrage card that gives him more rockets per use, his Blaster Disabler card which allows his Concussion rocket to actually disrupt enemy blasters, and then most likely his Extended Exposure card that allows the revealed enemies to stay revealed for up to 6 seconds longer. As for heroes vs villains, the cards that I'll most likely run are the Intense Barrage card, the Anti-Hero Rockets card, and probably the Blaster Disabler card, or maybe even his new card if it does end up being worth it. Now next on the list would have been Bossk, but he's actually not getting any new cards since he already has full health regen, so luckily we won't have to change his cards after the update. I do have both a hero guide and a killstreak breakdown with Bossk, so if you do want to know what cards I do tend to use, then definitely check those ones out as well. Moving on now to Vader, and his new card is going to be called Surrounded by Fear, which is actually a nice little Easter egg as it's actually part of one of his really famous lines from the 2017 Vader comics, and the description reads, when killing an enemy, Darth Vader gains stamina back. Now, I can already tell that this is probably going to be one of the best card additions in this update. Stamina on kill is going to be beastly depending on the amount, I guess, but I definitely think I'm going to be giving this one a try as soon as it arrives. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are the bonus health card, the There Is No Escape card, which is the longest saber throw, and then most likely his new stamina card, or if it isn't as good as it sounds, then I'll probably use the Fueling the Rage card that increases the time of furious rage with each kill. As for heroes vs villains, I'll probably use the bonus health card again, the new stamina card, and then probably his second stamina card called Deflection Stamina, because both of those cards will make him even more of a tank than he already is. With such high health and even more stamina, he's going to be next to unstoppable in the hero game modes. Moving on now to Emperor Palpatine, and his new card is going to be called Show No Mercy, and it reads, each extra target hit by chain lightning will reduce its cooldown by 0.25 seconds to a maximum. This effect resets when Emperor Palpatine is defeated. Now, I'm not going to lie, this one could be really overpowered depending on the stats and just how it all works in game. If Chain Lightning can be used really often, it definitely could end up being one of his better star cards overall. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are Lightning Reach, which extends the range of his lightning, In Full Control, which reduces his stamina drain, and then either Surge of Lightning or maybe the new card if it does end up being really useful. As for heroes vs villains, I'll probably use the Lightning Reach and In Full Control card, which I did use for Galactic Assault, and then the Rule of Two card, which increases the damage dealt to stunned enemies. Next up we have Kylo Ren, and his card is going to be called Power of Darkness, and it reads, after he uses Frenzy, Kylo Ren's lightsaber damage is increased for 6 seconds. Now this one is almost certainly going to be extremely powerful. It does of course depend on what the actual damage increase is, but even if it's something like 10 or 20 extra damage per hit, that is going to be pretty damn powerful, especially since it comes into play for a massive 6 seconds after already having dealt some really good damage with Frenzy. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are the Closing In card, which essentially just increases the distance of his Frenzy ability, the Power Reach card that increases the area of effect of his pull ability, and then I think I might actually go with the Harsh Pull card, as that makes it so that you can pretty much pull a trooper towards you and then kill them with one Saber Swing, so that is going to be a deadly combination of star cards. As for Heroes vs Villains, I'll most likely use the Bloodlust card that increases the damage of Frenzy, the Resilience card that increases his Saber damage if you are near teammates, and then probably his new card, because all three of those combined are actually going to make Kylo deal some of the most damage in the game, and that is definitely going to be some pretty scary combinations. Next up we have Iden Versio, and her new card is going to be called Shocking Weakness, and it reads, Iden Versio's stun droid also reveals enemies within a 25 meter radius to all allies for a short time. Now, this one actually sounds pretty damn useful. It kind of sounds like it's going to be similar to Rey's Insight ability, and so if that is the case, then this is going to be an absolute game changer, and it could actually be her best card overall. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are her new Shocking Weakness card, her Alternative Methods card, which allows her alternate fire mode to be fired more often, and then her Droid Batteries card, which increases the cooldown for her Stun Droid and Droid Shield abilities. As for Heroes vs Villains, I'll probably run the exact same cards, although I might actually change her newer card for the Shock Reach card instead, as I think that card probably suits HVV a little bit more, as you don't really need to reveal enemies in Heroes vs Villains, as the map does already show them every now and then anyway. Moving on now to Maul, and his new card is going to be called Savage, or it may be Savage after his brother, and it reads, if Darth Maul hits 4 enemies with a spin attack within a short time, his spin attack recharge will be 75% faster for 4 seconds. Now this one actually sounds really good, yet it does also sound pretty situational in that you have to find 4 enemies pretty much right next to each other for it to really work, and so I think it will be great in that situation, but other than that I'm not really sure if it will be all that good. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are the Lightsaber Defense card that gives him 16% damage reduction from blasters, the Flow Motion card that gives him that extra spin attack, and then most likely the Ranged Throw card, which increases the area of effect of his chokehold. As for Heroes vs Villains, I'll most likely use the same cards, or depending on the map, maybe the Unrolled Grip card, as that one does help for throwing enemies further away. On maps like Kashyyyk or Kamino, as frustrating as it may be for your enemies, if you can throw them off the edge, then it's an easy way to get a kill or two throughout the match, so the Unrolled Grip card is really good in that situation. Moving on now to Phasma, her new card is going to be called Blaster Inspection, and it reads, every time she kills an enemy, Captain Phasma and friendly troopers around her gain a permanent 3% decrease to their blast overheat per bolt to a maximum. This effect resets when Captain Phasma is defeated. This one actually sounds pretty decent. Essentially, it's just going to slowly cause your blaster to overheat at a slower rate with each kill that you get, and so I actually think this card might end up being one of the ones that I use. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are her Easy Shots card that reduces the heat build up with each kill, the Not Hard Enough card that gives her a massive damage reduction when Survivor is active, and then either the new card or the Safety First card that increases the health of her Survivor ability. As for Heroes vs Villains, again I'll probably run the exact same cards as I do for Galactic Assault. Moving on now to Grievous, his new card is going to be called Flesh is Weak, and it reads, for every 10% health missing, General Grievous gains damage reduction, but his health regeneration speed is halved. Now this one is just way too hard to judge without actually knowing the stats. If it gives a large amount of damage reduction, it may very well be worth it, but otherwise I think that double the amount of time until his health regens might not really be worth the hassle. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are the Beating Heart card, which gives him the extra health regen, the Line Up Weaklings card that allows him to one-hit kill with his Claw Rush after the first hit, which I think is actually bugged so that it gives the damage straight away, and then the Deadly Slashes card that increases the damage of Unrelenting Advanced hits, which is a really solid card now that the ability works properly. As for Heroes vs Villains, I'll most likely use the Beating Heart card, the Deadly Slashes card, and then I'll probably replace Line Up Weaklings with his Ceaseless Assault card that gives extra damage reduction when using Unrelenting Advance. That ability is absolutely insane now in HVV, and the card gives 50% damage reduction while it's active, meaning if you can catch a few enemies in it, then you're pretty much guaranteed to get at least a couple of kills with it that you probably wouldn't have gotten without that card equipped. Now lastly we have Count Dooku. His new card is called Initiative, and it reads, every 15 seconds Count Dooku's basic attack will be a critical strike dealing extra damage. This cooldown is reduced by 1 second for every successful lightsaber attack. Now, I'm not really too sure how this one is going to work. I wonder if it's going to actually tell you when the hit is going to be critical by showing something on the screen or something like that. And then if you hit someone right then, it actually deals more damage. Or whether it is just going to happen every 15 seconds without warning. But if you can time it well and reduce that cooldown, then this card could actually be really useful. The other thing I'm really not too sure on is how much extra damage it's going to cause. I guess since it says it's a critical hit, that probably means it'll deal over 150, so that it will be a one-hit kill, but as of right now we just really don't know, and so I will have to test this one out in the Mythbusters episode once the update arrives. After the update, the cards that I'll most likely run for Galactic Assault are his Sith Controlled card that gives him the extra health regen, his Masterful Duelist card that gives Duelist more damage per hit, allowing for a one-hit kill, and then either his Balanced Duelist card that reduces the Duelist cooldown, or maybe his new card if it does end up being worth it. As for Heroes vs Villains, I will most likely run these same cards yet again. So that is actually going to be it for all of the Darkside heroes and their new cards and combinations, guys. Like I said, as of right now, it is just kind of a guessing game because we just don't know how good or bad these cards are going to be just yet, but I'm fairly certain that most of the cards I mentioned will most likely be my main choices nonetheless. If this video did help you guys out, then make sure to smash that like button to help support the channel, and like I said, I already have uploaded the Lightside heroes as well, so make sure to go and check that one out after this one. Also, like I mentioned, the day that the update drops, which is the 28th of August, I am going to put out a Mythbusters video pretty much straight away showing every single card in action, showing what exactly they do and whether or not they're worth it, so keep your eyes peeled for that one because I'm sure some of you guys are just as confused or interested as I am about these new star cards. If you are new to the channel, then feel free to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any more Battlefront 2 videos or live streams. Thank you all so much for watching, you guys have a great day and I'll catch you all in the next one.